Sea of Stars is a brand new RPG that just hit the market and everybody is losing their minds over this game. There are a lot of things that we got to talk about, so let's go ahead and get into it. Hi gamers, it's your host Stormy, and we are going to be discussing everything that you want to know about Sea of Stars. In this video, I'm going to very carefully tiptoe around the major story points because I don't want this video to be full of spoilers for the people who do plan on picking up this game. So, if I sound like I'm being very vague, that's because I am. Sea of Stars is a retro-style turn-based RPG game that released August 29th of 2023 on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch with a retail price point of $34.99. And while I'm making this video September 1st of 2023, it is currently on Game Pass, so if you have Game Pass, this will be included at the time of this video. The game is about two kids named Zale and Valere who were granted basically superpowers, which is very rare in their world. The game starts you with them as children and takes you through their lives as they navigate training and learning their powers. This will include trails, tests, and physical training. From there, they will finally graduate their training and they're set off into the world to battle. The main characters in this game do have some really heartwarming dialogue, but to be extremely honest, the two main characters are overshadowed by some of the other characters that they introduce along the way, but all in all, the characters are very, very good and easy to love. Now let's get into some of the visuals of this game. As you can see, it's clearly your old school 16-bit pixel art style, which I personally am a huge fan of. I have played many games in this style and I will continue to do so because I find that some of the most amazing stories are found in games that have this art style. The map has extremely vibrant colors, lots of depth, the environment is gorgeous, and I was very impressed by the short, almost cutscene-esque cinematics that we get throughout the game. Definitely brought a little bit something extra to just your typical pixel art style game. The music is also really good. The soundtrack is great. It kept me immersed for most of the game. There's also a nice little map system that separates each area into levels and islands with no combat. That way you can travel from place to place without the risk of dying. Quick little PSA as well here. This game, in my opinion, is not a cozy game. I cannot tell you the amount of times I saw this game on the top cozy games lists, and to me, this is just absolutely not a cozy game. This game is going from one dungeon to the next with basically no break, and the side stories are nearly non-existent. You're basically in combat 99% of the time. This does not make it a bad game. It's not a bad game. It's a great game, but it's not a cozy game. So if you're a person who does not like combat or intense boss battles, this might not be the game for you. But on the other side of that coin, for gamers who are experienced in this category, this one is very simple. You have your standard turn-based mechanics, a health bar, a mana bar, combos, live mana, healing items, etc. I think this could actually be a great starter game into the RPG genre. So if you're a person who's looking to get their feet wet into this type of game, I think this one would be a great fit. There are puzzles throughout these dungeons, and while they do get your brain moving, they're nothing too challenging. So if you're a person that struggles with puzzles, I would not worry about that in this game. There is also a day and night system that you will run into down the line that will allow you to travel to different areas and complete puzzles by changing between dusk and dawn. This was something that I really enjoyed throughout the game. Going a little deeper into the combat, you have regular attacks, special moves, combo moves, and your healing items. Something kind of interesting is your enemies will have these little slot machine looking icons pop up above their head, indicating that they're about to do a special attack on you, and you have the option to break their stance in order to stop that attack from happening. For me personally, this type of combat gets a little bit repetitive simply because the amount of new moves and spells you can have is limited, so there's not a lot of room for customization within the combat system. But if you're looking for that classic old school nostalgia, this is definitely going to be right up your alley. The boss fights are all unique in their own ways and will have a little bit of differences throughout. But if you're a diehard fan of this genre, it's probably nothing that you haven't seen before. I do wish the boss fights had a little bit something extra to them in the way that games like Undertale did. There's not a whole lot of depth within the combat system, but it's still extremely fun and again, really, really great for beginners. You do also have a leveling system where once you hit a certain level of XP, you can level up and choose where you'd like to fill your points, which makes each character in your party have their own special strengths, but that's kind of the extent as far as the customization goes in how you build your character and your party. Overall, I really enjoyed Sea of Stars. It's about 30 hours of gameplay and the story is rich and keeps you locked in as it goes on. Keep in mind that I intentionally left out an insanely large amount of story details because I did not want this video to spoil anything for anyone. If you are just itching to play something like Chrono Trigger, you have to pick up this game ASAP. The graphics are gorgeous with deep colors, the soundtrack is awesome, and you will fall in love with some of these characters. The story overall is just beautiful, and I would say it definitely lives up to the hype, minus the small details such as the combat where I felt it could have been a little bit more remarkable. Like I said, you do get about 30 hours of gameplay here, so I think if this is a game that you are just begging to get your hands on, the price is definitely worth it. Let me know in the comments down below if you're thinking of picking up this game, or if you've already done so, are you enjoying it? Would you recommend it? And do you agree that this could be a great starter game into the RPG genre for beginners? I would love to know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming news, updates, and reviews. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you all next time. Bye!